Let's get right into it. Number 13. The Tucker's Cross. In 1955, a treasure hunter named Teddy Tucker found something amazing off the coast of Bermuda, a solid gold cross. But not just any cross. This thing was covered in emeralds. It was from a Spanish shipwreck from 1594. Tucker sold it to the Bermuda government. They put it in a museum. Everything was fine until 1975, when someone noticed something weird. The cross in the museum was a fake. Someone had broken in, stolen the real cross, and replaced it with a replica. And they did such a good job that no one noticed for weeks. The thief was never caught. The real cross was never found. But here's the crazy part. The person who stole it can't sell it. It's too well known. So somewhere out there, someone has a priceless piece of history, just sitting there, probably in a safe, being really careful not to tell anyone about it. Number 12. The Lost Gold of SS Laurentic. In 1917, a British ship quietly slipped out of an Irish harbor during a snowstorm. The SS Laurentic was carrying a secret cargo, 3,200 gold bars meant to buy weapons from America. That's about $1.7 billion in today's money, casually floating across the Atlantic. But she never made it. A German submarine had planted mines in the area. The Laurentic hit 2 of them and sank quickly. Here's where it gets interesting. The British Navy actually found the wreck. They spent 6 years diving down there and recovered most of the gold. Most, but not all. 22 bars are still missing. That's millions of dollars worth of gold just sitting at the bottom of the ocean. Technically, anyone can try to find it. But here's the catch. It's 40 meters down in freezing water, filled with unexploded mines. Number 11. The original crown jewels of England. In 1216, King John of England was having a really bad time. His nobles were rebelling, and the French were invading, so he decided to move his treasure, including the crown jewels, to a safer place. He took them north, traveling through an area called the Wash. It's a large bay with lots of quicksand and shifting tides. You can probably guess where this is going. The wagons carrying the treasure got caught in rising water. Everything was lost. We're talking about the original crown jewels of England, plus bags of gold and silver coins and precious gems. The total value today would be in the hundreds of millions, maybe billions. People have been searching the Wash for centuries, but the area is treacherous. The tides change quickly, and the quicksand is dangerous. Plus, after 800 years, everything's probably buried pretty deep. Still, every few years someone tries to find it. So far, no luck. Number 10. The Ark of the Covenant. The Ark was a sacred chest that contained the original 10 Commandments. It was kept in Solomon's temple in Jerusalem, but in 586 BC, the Babylonians invaded Jerusalem and destroyed the temple. After that, nobody knows what happened to the Ark. Some say it was taken to Babylon as loot. Others believe the priests hid it before the invasion. There's even a theory that it ended up in Ethiopia. The Ethiopian Orthodox Church claims they have it in a church in Aksum, but they won't let anyone see it to verify. Only one specially chosen guardian is allowed to view it. If the Ark still exists, its value would be beyond calculation. We're talking about one of the most significant religious artifacts in history. Plus, according to ancient descriptions, it was covered in gold. Number 9. Yamashitas Gold. During World War II, the Japanese allegedly looted billions in gold and other valuables from across Southeast Asia. The story goes that General Tomoyuki Yamashita hid it all in tunnels and caves in the Philippines. After the war, several people claimed to have found some of the treasure. The most famous was Rogelio Roxas, who said he found a golden Buddha statue and some gold bars in 1971. Today, people are still searching the Philippines for the treasure. Some tunnels have been found, but most of the gold is still missing. If it exists, it would be one of the largest treasure troves ever discovered. Number 8. The Lost Krueger Millions. The year is 1900 and South Africa is in chaos. British forces are invading the country, and they're winning. The South African president is Paul Krueger, and he is desperate to protect their national treasure. We're talking millions in gold coins and bars, so he loads it all onto a train. The train leaves Pretoria. After that, nobody knows what happened. Some say Krueger buried it along the way, others think he took it to Europe. There's even a theory that he hid it in a cave system. People have been looking ever since. The South African government still gets letters from people claiming they know where it is. They've all been wrong so far. Number 7. The Lost Peking Man Fossils. In 1941, with Japanese forces approaching Beijing, American scientists packed up something priceless. 2 wooden crates containing the Peking Man fossils, some of the oldest human remains ever found. These 500,000-year-old bones were headed for New York. They made it as far as the port city of Qinhuangdao, then they vanished. Some say they were loaded onto a U.S. Marine ship that was later sunk. Others think Chinese soldiers buried them somewhere for safekeeping. Number 6. Nazi Gold Train. In 1945, as the Soviet army was approaching, the Nazis supposedly loaded a train with gold, art, and other valuables. The train left Wrocław and headed toward Faberge. It never arrived. According to local legend, the Germans hid the train in a secret tunnel system they'd built in the mountains. We know these tunnels exist. The Nazis built lots of them under Project Reese. In 2015, 2 guys claimed they'd found the train using ground-penetrating radar. They even showed a blurry image that kind of looked like a train. Everyone got super excited, but when they actually dug, nothing. Just rocks and dirt. But people haven't given up. The area around Wałbrzych is full of abandoned mines and tunnels. The train could be in any of them. Number 5. The Crown Jewels of Ireland. In 1907, someone pulled off one of history's most famous heists at Dublin Castle. This collection included a star and badge made of Brazilian diamonds. The jewels were kept in Dublin Castle, protected in a safe. You'd think that would be enough security, right? Well, apparently not, because someone managed to swipe them right under everyone's noses. The weird part is that there were no signs of forced entry. This means whoever took them either had the keys or knew someone who did. The theft was discovered just 4 days before King Edward VII was supposed to visit Ireland. Despite offering a massive reward and launching a huge investigation, they never found the jewels. Some people think they were stolen by Irish nationalists as a political statement. Others believe it was an inside job by castle staff. We still don't know where they ended up. Number 4. The Lost Faberge Eggs. You've probably heard of Faberge eggs. They're those insanely detailed jeweled eggs made for Russian royalty, but 8 of them are still missing. The Faberge firm made 50 imperial eggs between 1885 and 1916. Each one was unique. Each one was worth a fortune. Then the Russian Revolution happened. The Bolsheviks seized everything they could find. Some eggs were sold to foreign collectors. Others disappeared. One of them turned up in 2014, in the weirdest way possible. A scrap metal dealer bought it at a flea market for $14,000. He didn't know what it was, so he was planning to melt it down for the gold. But turned out it was worth $33 million. The other 7 are still out there somewhere. Each one could be worth anywhere from $20 million to $50 million, and they might be sitting in someone's attic, being used as a paperweight. Number 3. The Florentine Diamond. This is one of the most famous missing diamonds in the world. It's a 137-carat yellow diamond with 9 sides and 126 facets. The stone has a fascinating history. It was first discovered in India. Back then, it was owned by the Medici family of Florence. Later, it became part of the Austrian crown jewels. But after World War I, when the Austrian Empire collapsed, things got interesting. The last emperor, Charles I, took the diamond with him when he went into exile. After that, it vanishes. Some say it was smuggled to South America. Others think it was cut into smaller stones to hide its identity. There's even a theory that it's sitting in a safe deposit box somewhere, forgotten. Number 2. The Gardner Museum Heist. On March 18, 1990, 2 guys dressed as Boston police officers walked into the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. They told the security guard they were responding to a disturbance call. The guard let them in. Big mistake. They tied up both guards and spent the next 81 minutes stealing 13 pieces of art. Total value was about $500 million. Here's the weird part. They left the most valuable pieces behind. They even tried to steal a bronze flag but couldn't get it off the wall. The FBI is still actively investigating this case, and all the main suspects are probably dead. The museum still has empty frames hanging where the paintings used to be. They're offering a $10 million reward for information. No questions asked. Just bring back the art. But after 33 years, nothing. The paintings are probably sitting in someone's private collection. Or worse, it may be stored improperly in some warehouse, slowly deteriorating. Number 1. The Lost Library of Ivan the Terrible. Picture this. You're Ivan the Terrible, ruler of Russia, and you've got this amazing collection of books. We're talking about lost knowledge from the ancient world that could completely change our understanding of history. The collection was supposedly brought to Moscow by Ivan's grandmother, Sofia Palaiologina. She was the niece of the last Byzantine emperor, so she had access to some pretty exclusive books. But here's the thing. Ivan decided to hide his precious library. Maybe he was worried about fires, or maybe he just didn't trust anyone else with it. Whatever the reason, he had it buried somewhere beneath Moscow. He never told anyone exactly where. People have been searching for this library for centuries. In the 1890s, they even dug tunnels under the Kremlin looking for it. But so far, nothing. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.